Today we're going to be talking about the most discussed item in the news, and that's the investigation by Doge. I don't know if that's French. I don't know why they call it Doge or Doge, as I call them. The Department of Government Efficiency that was set up by Elon Musk. And these guys have been finding some crazy shit, okay? Um, and I have to say something up front. I think a lot of people, especially in Europe, are aware how corrupt. Well, not just Europe but worldwide are aware how corrupt USAID. It's not USAID. It's USAID because they're certainly not providing any aid to anybody. It's the U.S. Agency for International Development, and these guys, according to the evidence that was presented by DOGE, and it's just overwhelming evidence, by the way. These guys have been. It's just a. This agency is just a racket. It's a money laundering up. Or nowadays it seems like everything is money laundering operation. But these guys are. They probably perfected it because they've been doing this for decades. Okay, let me tell you something about the USAID. These guys, their budget is 3 times the budget of the CIA. Okay. Now, the CIA has roughly, give or take, about 3.5 billion budget per year. USAID is 3 times that. So it's over $10 million. Okay. Sorry, $10 billion, not 10 million. That's pocket change for Chelsea Clinton. Okay. And it's been, I'm sure you've seen it. It's just madness on the news right now with Democrats staging protests and going from building to building and yapping, and they're trying to prevent Elon Musk's employees basically accessing data, and of course they're going to be trying to prevent that because they're just going to find fraud all over the place. Okay, and let me just give you a few example of the fraud that they have found. And I have to admit, this is not really surprising to me because let's just say I have some experience working for the government as a contractor. So I have seen some documents, and this was just not surprising to me at all. Okay. And but still, it's practically insane. Okay. So let me just give you an example. And this is all facts that were presented by the DOGE. 7 million were spent on various, quote unquote, various projects studying magic. Okay, I love magic, but $7 million on studying magic, really? Okay. $50 million were spent for condoms in Gaza, in Palestine. $50 million were spent for purchasing condoms. It's so fucking stupid. Okay? 70,000 were spent for DEI musical in Ireland. I bet that was good. 17 million were spent to offer tax advice in Liberia. Tax advice to whom? That's just such an odd thing to have as an item, as a spending item. I think actually Elon tried to prevent this one from going through, but I don't know what happened there. 1.5 million were spent to use kittens in a study to analyze motion sickness. Okay. This is my favorite. $240 million. $240 million were given to this lunatic George Soros, who in turn took the money and funded the campaigns to elect woke prosecutors and leftist judges. He also funded Antifa with this money and BLM as well. And yes, George Soros does not spend his own money, okay? We pay him. Well, actually, we the taxpayers actually gave him this money thanks to the insane politicians that we have in Washington, D.C. Just think about how crazy this is. And also, don't forget that George Soros actually bought thousands of radio stations across the US. And yes, he did it with our own money. And he owns the radio stations, so he can actually influence our elections. Think about that for a second. Just how insane that is. And by the way, $84 million were given to Chelsea Clinton. To Chelsea Clinton. Because they don't have any money. 10 million, and by the way, this is the money that was supposed to go to Haiti. Of course, it didn't go there. Well, now you know where it went. It went to Chelsea Clinton. She got $3 million as a wedding gift. $10 million she used to purchase a nice mansion, and the rest were just spread out. Okay. And let me tell you why they have this kind of insane items like this. Okay. Oh, by the way, I think they spent a couple of million. I think it was like 7 million or whatever it was to create a Sesame Street in Iraq. What? It's just. But let me just tell you why they have these kind of insane items. Because the Democrats and some Republicans, by the way, they're not immune to this, okay? They have been stealing from us for decades. Now, because of DOGE, because of Doge, they got caught. That's why they're hysterical. And they are heading to jail, or at least you would hope so. The reason why I have these items like this, because they've been stealing for such a long time, they're actually running out of ideas of what type of nonsense they're gonna put in as a line item to justify the spending. They just have no idea anymore what to put there, because obviously you have to describe what you're spending the money on. That's why they have these insane line items with insane numbers behind them. And the way it works is, I'll give you an example. And this is all checked out, by the way. If DOGE actually goes and fully investigates this, let's say like they take a specific item. Let's say they take, I don't know, the 50 million for condoms in Gaza or the musical in Ireland. I've actually checked the Irish press. They cannot find the NGO that got the money for this. Okay? That means somebody pocketed the money. With all of these projects, somebody's pocketing the money. The money is never ending where it's supposed to go, because obviously the items are insane, so it's not going to go there in the first place. It's what happens is many times an NGO, a non-governmental organization, which is always tied to the government and to the politicians, gets created just a couple of days before the grant is actually announced. And typically, the NGO is created by somebody with the ties to the organization or to the USAID individual who is actually setting up the grant. The grant is going to be, let's say, given out on May 10th. Well, on May 2nd, an NGO is going to be created that's going to pick up the money. And very soon after, the NGO actually is going to shut its doors down. And if you check their addresses, they're non-existent. It's either PO box or like somewhere in the desert. They don't exist, okay? And what happens is the money will go to the NGO, who is, by the way, set up by a friend or even by the individuals who actually give the grant, and they simply share the money. What you call the kickback. You get 10% or 15% for setting up the NGO. The rest of the money is gonna come back to me. That's just how it works. Okay. That's why you see politicians like the Chuck Schumers, the Pelosi's, the Ruskins, that you name them, with salaries of 160, 170K per year, they always are worth 60, 80 million dollars, and actually in some cases way more than that. And that's not even counting the secret accounts they have in the Caribbean and elsewhere. That's just like what they actually declare. Okay, that's what they're worth. Lord knows how much more they have that's actually undeclared. And that's what's happening. That's why they're so hysterical, because they're very afraid we're going to find out they've stolen billions and billions of dollars over the years. That's why they're going nuts right now. Okay. That's why you have these leftist judges who also get a kickback. Yeah, well, they're not going to risk their career for free. Okay. Nobody does that, by the way. Yeah, of course they're going to get some money. It's ridiculous. So that's why they're doing what they're doing now. They're trying to prevent Trump and specifically Elon Musk's team to unveil all this craziness that's been going on for decades, not for the last 4 years. This has been going on for decades. Okay? Again, there is a reason why every politician is worth way more than they're earning. This is how it's done. Oh, and my favorite thing is, do you know who increased the budget of the USAID? It's the people who are actually getting the kickbacks. Why would you have 3 times the budget of the CIA? Well, because they need to steal more money. That's why they have massive budgets. Okay? And wait until Musk's team actually get their hands on. That's just going to get dangerous for Musk, I think, at this point. If he gets his team to investigate the Pentagon, oh, good Lord, or to investigate the Social Security, because they have been siphoning money from that and giving it to illegals. So you and I, we work like idiots, and we're gonna get some kind of a freaking Social Security pension that's gonna be like $700, $800, and then these people who, break the law come in and they get $1,500 every month and their rent is paid. Well, where is this money coming from? Who approved that? That's coming from Social Security. That's coming from FEMA. That's coming from USAID. Oh, and by the way, you see the attacks from the leftist media, New York Times, those rags, the fake news producers like Politico and Bloomberg, and I mentioned New York Times. You see what happened with that? Why they've been attacking Trump and specifically Elon Musk all the time? Because they've been getting millions from USAID. How crazy is that? So that's basically state propaganda for you. Okay, they paid for Politico like $8 million worth of Who the hell reads Politico, by the way? So they paid Politico $8 million worth of subscription. So that's probably like, I don't know, 500,000 subscribers or more. I mean, I don't know what they're charging. I've never visited their site actually. But that just gives you an idea how crazy this is, how crooked it is. Okay. And these judges, I don't understand the law. How can they meddle in the executive branch? I don't see a judge overseeing executive decisions. I don't think that's their place. But at the same time, so they're, I don't know, they're federal judges, I believe. Why don't we have a federal judge from Louisiana, Florida, or Texas overrule these idiots, these activists who are getting paid to do what they did? Okay. Anyways, what a time! Oh, and by the way, props to Big Balls. Just do what you're doing, man. Just do what you do. All right. And by the way, this podcast is brought to you by USAID. They gave us 40 million for this. Oh yeah, but we have to give back like 39.9. So yeah, that's just we didn't read the fine print. So all right, I'll talk to you later as more craziness gets uncovered. See ya.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.